Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. I know I have slacked pretty hard on uploading videos, but when I got home from vacation, I had this overwhelming need to reorganize and clean and I don't know, I'm blaming it on spring cleaning. Hopefully that's the case, but so I spent last week doing that, and now I want to play makeups and hang out with you. I think I'm in a good place to do that now that, everything's been cleaned and rearranged, and I still have a fair amount of work ahead of me because we've decided to kind of redo our living room. We have had the same old couch for many years. It was a hand-me-down, so we bought a new one. So I'm going to redecorate the living room, but with stuff I already own. I just have to, get it out and decide what's going up and what's not. So anyway, that's not why you're here. I decided to play with 2 palettes today and tell you about our vacation. So when I got the Nomad Fairy Tale Europe palette from Nomad in PR, I had a comment on one of my videos that said they would love to see how well this one pairs with the other European themed palettes. And this was from Fernanda Rios, maybe. I'm really sorry if I butchered your name, but I decided to go with the Fairy Tale Europe, obviously, and then the Royal Europe. I thought this could be a really fun first combo to play with. So let me just show you the inside in case you haven't seen it in a while. That's what I'm gonna do. I think it's gonna be fun. I also at the moment think I'm leaning towards the more pinky shades. That could change. Maybe it's my earrings that my bestest bestie got me for our cruise. Little cocktail glasses. Even though I don't drink, I can still, appreciate the cuteness of a cocktail. So anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully you're into this and I haven't lost you already with the yammering. So, okay, I will of course let you know what shades I'm using. I will include a little photo just in case I can't pronounce the name of the eyeshadow, and I'll just start yammering about vacation. All right, so quickly I'll just let you know I'm going to use my Refer Shudo 04 brush, and I'm going to go into Penna Palace on the tip of this brush. So, okay, as you know, hopefully, we went on a cruise, Mike and I, and we met up with friends that we have cruised with in the past. Really good friends, amazing people. I will include photos of as much as I can from anyone who doesn't mind being included. But we all met on a cruise and have since cruised together, well, pretty much not every single time, but most of the time we cruise together, at least some of the group. Mike and I have had to nope out a few times, but we all got to go this time, and we get on the boat and it was very exciting, and I hadn't slept in more than 24 hours at that point, so I was a little bit tuckered. So we're heading over towards our group of friends, and I see this person coming at me, and it took me a second to figure out what I was seeing, and it was my friend Pat. He and his wife Connie, we met them on a cruise years ago and just immediately hit it off and became very good friends. and Connie died 4 years ago. So I hadn't seen Pat since before that. And anyway, Mike knew that he was going to be there, but I did not. It was supposed to be a surprise for me. So yeah, that started me right off. Like, cried. I was so happy to see him. It was emotional and amazing. And then, you know, all of our other friends, and it was so cool. And Pat has a new friend who he's been hanging out with for a while now, and we got to meet her, and she is absolutely delightful. I really liked her. So that was so cool. And Betty and John were there. They live in Virginia. And Betty and I talk pretty much daily. So it was really cool to just like see her finally IRL and hang out. And their son and his girlfriend were there. And I'd met their son before, but we got to meet his girlfriend, who is absolutely fantastic. She's such a sweet human. I really liked her. And then it was Pat's friend Lori brought her daughter, and her daughter's boyfriend was there, and they were a good time. You know, they're not kids, like, you know, kids, but way younger than the rest of us. So it's just a fun element when there's younger people, which makes me sound really old, but I mean, I guess in a way I kind of am. But it was really cool. And then there was our friends Lars and Inga. Well, I should say Forrester and Caitlin, John and Betty's son and his girlfriend. They live in Canada. No, Alaska. They live in Alaska. So it was a long trip for them to meet up with us. They cruise pretty regularly, their own selves, even without our crew. And then Pat and Lori are from Pennsylvania. John and Betty are from Virginia. And then our friends Lars and Inga came from Denmark. And they brought their friends, John and Lizzie from Denmark. And they were all so incredibly nice. There's this like thing in our little group that, you know, we all kind of want to be like Inga when we grow up, because she is amazing. She is smart and beautiful and, you know, all the good things, and absolutely wonderful and lovely and such a nice human. And Lars is her husband, and Lars and Mike hit it off immediately when we met, and they're hilarious together. I don't think I can include all of the pictures of their shenanigans, but let's just say those two aren't afraid to moon anybody, specifically someone with a camera. But just so much fun. All of these people are wonderful, lovely humans, and it was really nice to meet Lizzie and John. Lizzie is probably one of the sweetest ladies ever, and her husband was very nice and very funny. I mean, there was almost always a risk of peeing one's pants when they got up to shenanigans, because they're just hilarious and everyone's got such a great sense of humor, and it was just so much fun. And then we kind of like, I don't know, we have our own idea of shenanigans, and we hang out kind of in the same spot on the ship, and we ended up meeting another couple, Cindy and Fred, who were so cool. I mean, just immediately fit right in with the rest of us crazy cruise friends. So that was really fun. For the first 2 cruises, we were pretty much 14 most nights at dinner, and we had the best wait staff ever. Found out on the last week that they had never had a table of 14 before, and you never would have known that based on the service. There's not even a program in the computer for a table of 14, but they definitely made it work. And if we find people we like, we sort of refuse to let them go. So a lot of times the wait staff changes where they're working, in like the dining room or whatever. But we sort of told the people in charge that they weren't allowed to move them, which was really nice. So we got to have the same wait staff for all 3 cruises, and it's just really nice because, like, I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but once they get to know you and what you like and what you want to have, like at dinner. I like my coffee in the beginning of dinner because I'm usually freezing, I'm usually tired, and I need the coffee early on. If I have it later, I won't be able to sleep. So I like lemon for my water, and after the first night, you never have to ask again. It's just there, and that is miraculous to me. Not having to ask for something, it's just there for you, is mind-blowing to me. So if you hear someone say they treat you like royalty or like a celebrity, they really do on a boat. It's amazing and so appreciated. In case you don't know this, you should tip on any kind of, vacation or whatever. Like, these people are working really hard for you and to ensure you are going to have a great time. So we are over tippers, like a lot, but I think it's important. And I mean, let's be honest, when somebody's working really hard, the best way to say thank you, you're doing a fantastic job, is not only with your words, but with your dollars. All right, I think I'm gonna move on to shimmers now. So we tip pretty darn heavily because I think it matters. But we got to go to St. Martin and see some of our favorite people. I will definitely include some photos because, boy howdy, it was a crazy great time. I had so much fun. There was a night on the boat that there was an ABBA party, like an ABBA sing-along, and I love ABBA, like a lot. So that was super fun. We stayed out until after 11 o'clock that night. I actually texted Shawnee and Erica because there's no way they would have believed me otherwise, because I go to bed early. I'm a tired girl, but we also get up early. So that was amazing. I had so much fun that night. Holy moly. I think everyone did. I mean, it was just, if you're not having a good time on a cruise, you're doing something wrong, because you can do whatever you want. You can be as busy or as relaxed as you want to be. It is lovely. If you have specific questions about cruising that I can answer, I totally will. I was trying to think of like a Q&A to do about it, but I don't know what to talk about. So I'm gonna put that here, and I'll do it on Facebook and Instagram as well. If you have specific questions you would like an answer for, let me know, and maybe Mike and I can do it together, or I can do it, whatever. But I would love to answer questions because I think cruising is the best. It's the best vacation. It's the best bang for your buck. There is, I think, probably nothing better. So yeah, I want to share what I know in case you're interested. And it would be from a crip standpoint because, you know, I'm crippled, which I think can be really helpful for people who have limitations or disabilities or what have you. Cruising is the best. It's my favorite. I love it. And then the last one, my sister came with my nieces and my nephew. They are, niece Anna will be 14 next month. Niece Rachie will be 15. Nope. Yeah. No. Niece Rachie's 14. Anna will be 13, right? Yeah, it must be. And then Rachie will be 15 in October, and Maddie will be 19 in August. And they were awesome. I mean, we just had so much fun, or at least I did, and it seemed like they did as well. It was really funny because there's lots on a boat that I've never done. Mike and I tend to not do stuff. We just like hang out. We relax during the day outside in the sunshine, and then at night we go to dinner. Sometimes we go to shows, and then, you know, that's kind of it. So with the kids there and Karen, we got to like explore and go check things out. And niece Anna found the kids club and had a great time, made friends because of course she did. It was just so cool. Oh my gosh, amazing. In the shows, I'm going to include as much as I can about the shows for you. They were some of the best I'd seen. There was one night that it was pretty bad, like really, really bad. And then one night I had to leave. I just couldn't handle the shenanigans. But the special guests they had for several of the nights, one was almost Elton, like a Elton John impersonator. That sounds ugly, but no, it's just like, it was awesome. And I'll link all of the websites that I can find that I know about in the description box in case you want to take a reconnoiter. He was fantastic. Absolutely loved his performance. He was funny. I thought he was very, very good. And then there was another performer who sang songs, and it was based on the commercials we used to see. Why is everything shaking so much? That's weird. The commercials from back in the day, you know, like you could buy the records, the box sets, and it would have all the songs. So there were several like medleys from, you know, what you would hear in those commercials, which I thought was a unique twist and really clever because, I mean, I think probably most of us remember those commercials. We may have even purchased some of those box sets. So that was really, really cool. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I have it written down. I took notes. Yeah. I just applied a bit of oil under my eyes. It's how I remove fallout before I do my foundation stuff. And this happens to be a sample of the Biossance Squalane Vitamin C Rose Oil. Any facial oil works. This is what I do to remove the eyeshadow because I am not careful. And my under eyes are sensitive. My under eyes are sensitive. I think probably most people's are. And you don't want to, you know, drag around and be aggressive cleaning up spills. So I use the oil. I'm going to line my lower waterline with this pink eyeliner from Colourpop in the shade Fluffy. The heck was I just talking about? The shows. I think my favorite show on the ship was Bill Cook. He's a magician slash comedian slash artist. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed his performance. And he was on when Karen and the kids came, so we got to go again and see it again, and they really liked it as well. He was fantastic, and I actually got to meet him on the ship. Like we were hanging out on deck 15 and headed back to the room to get ready for dinner and stuff, and he was sitting up there. And I walked over to, well, I didn't walk, I rolled and, apologized for bugging him and just said that I really, really liked his show. And we chatted for a minute. And the night that I saw him the first time, they had announced that he was getting married in 17 days. So, of course, congratulations on the nuptials. And he was on the phone with her when we interrupted him. And he was so sweet. So sweet. Definitely a good dude. Of that, I am 100% sure. It was so cool. Yeah. And then when I saw the show the second time, it was a little bit different. Like he'd switched it up a little bit. Not a lot of it, but enough that if you had already seen it, it wasn't boring to sit through it again, which I thought was so cool. Like, I don't know. I know nothing about performing or any of that stuff. So to me, it's all very, very impressive. But I don't know. Maybe it's not. Have you ever been on a cruise? Would you ever go on a cruise? So I sort of bullied my sister into going. And by bullied, I mean, I booked it and then told her she had to go. Which isn't the nicest thing ever, but I'm usually pretty good about knowing if something would be fun for you. So she hates the water, hates the stuff in the water, just not a fan. But I figured if she could just, ignore that part, she'd have a fantastic time. And it's really the only vacation that we can do together. It was our first vacation together ever. I'm going to use a baby wipe and just gently wipe off the oil and the fallout. Because there's just not any real crip-friendly accommodations that we can do. Nothing is honestly, genuinely crip-friendly. The ADA is a joke and not based on anything real or, that affects actual disabled people's lives. But cruise ships do it right. So she agreed to go so we could vacation together. And it ended up being such a fantastic time for both of us. She said when she got home, she told her husband that if money wasn't a problem, she would book another one right now. It was so much fun. I wish I could just explain it all to you, but there's really just no way to put it into words. I'm even gonna put on false lashes today. This is the second time I've done makeup, like full makeup. It's the second time in 4 weeks. I did a little bit of makeup on the cruise, but not a lot. And I've been missing it, and I really wanted to do more, so I'm going full out today. And you won't see this on the same day, of course, because I could never, ever get a video filmed, edited, and up by 7 a.m. But I believe niece Rachel's coming over today to do my nails. I'm very, very excited for that. I like my nails. The ones she did for the cruise lasted 4 weeks, which was amazing. So when I got home, I knew I was going to see her for at least a few days, and I had to do something with my nails until she could come over and hook a girl up. So I just, cut and filed mine down and painted them just to get me through till she can come and do my nails. She is so good at doing the nails. I'm just like amazed. She used to think I was so cool, and now the shoe is on the other foot because she's the cool one with all the talent. It's so exciting. I love it. I love seeing her go farther with something that we both love so much. I think it's amazing, and I'm so, so proud and excited for her. So I am going to just put these lashes on. Hopefully I remember how. And my mascara is just the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. I've never heard anybody talk about it. It's not the one that, got sort of famous for all the wrong reasons. But I like it. It just goes on. It's black. It's fine. It doesn't cause mascara confetti under my eyes. So 0 complaints. But I do have to use the 10x mirror to put them on. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will be right back. Okay, I think they're on and they're okay. My contacts got a bit dried out whilst I was doing that, so that's fun. For foundation, I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Powder Balm thingy in the shade 3.5. It's not the exact perfect shade for me, but with some powder and bronzer and blush, no one will know the difference. So we went to a couple of new islands we hadn't been to before. So we went to the Dominican Republic, which we'd never been to before, and the beach, or the part of the island is Puerto Plata, and it was amazing. They had a really, really nice like pool area and shopping area, and there was like a lazy river. It was really, really cool. We had such a good time, and we got to go there twice, which was really fun for us because we went and explored. We went to a little museum where they talked about mining amber and Larimar. I'm a big fan of amber. I know not everyone believes in that stuff, and that's totally fine. But if you've ever watched a baby struggle with teething and then put a necklace on them and watched it make all the difference within a day or two, you'd believe in it too. But anyway, I guess Larimar is only mined in the Dominican Republic, so I did definitely buy a little something for myself. I'll insert a photo of it because I can't show you. It is officially the most expensive piece of jewelry I own, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. But it's beautiful. And during the tour of the museum, the little girl, she was like probably early 20s, like adorable. She was giving us all the information and telling us all the things, and she said that there was one point where we were looking at amber, you know, the different shades of amber, and I don't know if you know where it comes from, but it's basically tree blood, and it can be very, very, very old. So she asked us to guess the age, and the person who guessed correctly would get 2 shots of their like their drink that is specific to the island. It's called Mamawana. It's like a spiced wine, booze type thing. I don't drink, so I didn't love it, but everyone else said it was pretty good. So our whole group was, you know, guessing the age of the amber, and not to brag, but of course I guessed the right age. We were guessing like 1 million years, 2 million years, and when she got to me and I was like, oh, it's at least 40 million years old. And she was like, yep, that's between 40 and 80 million years old. I pay attention to stuff like that. I don't know why, but nature documentaries, things like amber, it's interesting to me. So I knew, and I got it right. And then Mike got to enjoy my extra shot because I wasn't having it. I had a tiny sip because, you know, I didn't want to be disrespectful or anything, but yeah, it was really fun. And then we did a little shopping, and we went to a little chocolate factory where we got to taste test some local chocolate and coffee. When we went back with my sister, she bought some coffee. It was delicious. Like, actually, genuinely so good. Really nice coffee. She said it's still very good. It doesn't taste quite as good as it does on an island in the Caribbean, enjoying the sunshine, but mostly it's pretty good. I couldn't argue with her. Everything tastes better in the Caribbean. Even if it's bad, it's still better because it's in the Caribbean. Okay, so that was the Dominican Republic, and we went to Bimini, Bahamas. We'd never been there before either, and it was really pretty. The area that we went to was very much like the resort and owned and operated by the resort, which isn't generally what we want to go do and see, because, you know, it's not really the way the islands are. I'm just setting down the concealer real quick, and then I'll go in with my other powder. So that was a bit of a bummer, but then we went to the beach and it was gorgeous. All the beaches are gorgeous, but wowza. Oh, also, I totally forgot, in the Dominican Republic, right? It was the Dominican. We were there. Wait. No. Yeah. No. Hold on. Now I can't remember. Tiano Bay was the Dominican. What was the other one? Oh, it was Grand Turk, Turks and Caicos. That place was amazing. So we were there twice. The first time we went to the beach and we literally just walked there from the ship. It was very cool. Our first time going on a cruise to the Caribbean, I was under the impression that the beaches were right by the ship because the ship's in water, the beach is water, so therefore the beach and the ship should be. They're not. It doesn't work like that at all. But in Grand Turk, it was like that. We just walked a little ways into like most places you walk through like their duty-free area, which is like a store. And then you can go out the other side and you're there and can either get a taxi or walk to the beach or, whatever you're doing. So we walked through and there was a Margaritaville. I've never seen a Margaritaville before. And I was so excited. I didn't go in because I thought it was something I should do with my sister because it's the sort of thing, we would do together. So I waited, but there's a really not good picture of me. I'll probably share it because why not? I don't care. So that was really cool. The beach was stunning and the boat was right there. And then when another boat was coming in, they made everyone get out of the water and wait for the boat to come in because the waves would be too much because it was that close. Which we'd never seen anything like that before. That was interesting. So that was, Grand Turk was very, very cool. And then when my sister and I and the kids went back, we ended up getting lunch just at the outside bar part of Margaritaville. And I, of course, had to order a cheeseburger in paradise because, duh. And it was really cool. So I don't forget, word to the wise, if you go there, don't order a bunch of food. You're never going to be able to eat it all. We did. We ordered a ton of food and you can't take it with you. So we ended up wasting a lot of it. And it's pretty darn expensive, but it's fine. You got a lot, but I don't love wasting stuff like that. And you can't take it on the boat, so your only option is to throw it away. Nobody is going to want to share with you on an island that you don't know anybody. So, there's none of that, but yeah. And then at the Margaritaville area, there was this really cool pool with I don't want to say a ramp, but like a beach. So there was a incline, and that was really cool. Super easy for a wheelchair or somebody with mobility issues to get into the pool. Unfortunately, the pool was only 3 feet deep for the majority of it, which is great if you are just kind of waiting, but I'm tall. I am fully extended, 5'6", 5'7". So in order for me to not drown, I need a comfortable 4 feet of water. so I didn't stay too long in the pool, but long enough that I got to swim around a little bit and enjoy the water and cool off, because as you might imagine, it is very, very hot in the Caribbean. Thank goodness. Oh man, I loved it so much. I'm not telling you anything that I'm using. So I used my Melt Stack Contour in the shade Light Medium. And then my bronzer is the L'Oreal in 350 Medium. I love this bronzer. Obviously having to go a little bit heavy-handed because, you know, I got quite a bit of sun on the cruise. And all of this with a boatload of sunscreen. I love it. I'm supposed to live happily in the Caribbean. I just know it. You know, for the whole plan, you know, for how we could like make money and live there. But Mike didn't think it would work. So we didn't do it. What else? So that was very cool. Love, love, loved that. The beach there was beautiful. Because we were with a huge group, all of the guys and some of the women, because, you know, they can't be bossed around or held down, just carried my lounge chair to the water, and that's how I got into the ocean. Crazy and funny and amazing all at the same time. It was so cool. Usually Mike just carries me, but that's a lot, especially because I typically want to go swimming after he's been drinking. And that can be an experience. Not necessarily a bad one, but we have been known to take a tumble before. So, you know, there's that. But it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Where else? I'm trying to remember. I got it sounds ridiculous, but it's like it can get confusing trying to remember all the things. God, I love that blush. I'm using my NYX Butter Blushes. That was 8. And this is 4. Yep, 4. I don't know what the name of it is because I dropped it and broke it while I was in here reorganizing and cleaning, and I had to repress it, and I ended up spilling some alcohol on my desk and it got on the back of the package, so a bit of the writing has come off, but I love these so much. They are the best blushes. I'm going to just quickly whack on a lip and some lower lash eyeshadow, mascara. I'll come back and finish yammering about what I can remember and wrap this up. All right, I'm back and obviously everything is done. Let me scoot you in for an up-close reconnoiter at the eyes. I really like this look. I did end up using my NYX Butter Melt highlighter in You Butterwork because, you know, pink, how could I not? But anyway, I was trying to think while I was doing the rest of my makeup what I should include in this like wrap up, and the only other thing I can think of off the top of my head is St. Martin. It's one of our most favorite islands. I would highly recommend, if you ever get a chance to go and find Miguel. I will insert photos of all of the shenanigans there, but he's amazing and wonderful and remembers everybody he meets, and all people come to his beach. And I think, based on what I could find, he's doing good stuff for the community. So, yeah. And he's hilarious. He sat down on my sunbed with me and was like, all right, she's mine now. And then, you know, proceeded to call Mike his future father-in-law. Like, just hilarious. It's so much fun. And there's a woman who has a shop in St. Martin, and we always go to her shop and buy stuff there. And she remembered us. We hadn't been there in a few years. And the last time our friends went, she sent back a magnet for me, so I would have a little piece of St. Martin. And it's amazing the connections you can make out in the world, just traveling. And it was so nice to see her. And I saw pictures of the kids, and her daughter found me here, and I don't know, it's such a cool thing. So I think cruising is obviously the best vacation ever, but it's more than just that if you want it to be. And yeah, so if you think of any questions like specifically about cruising that I could answer, let me know and I will. But off the top of my head, I just can't think. I can't think of what you might want to know. It was hard to play this game with Karen too, because she was like, what do I need to know? And it's like, well, I don't know. There's some things, but, and then I was like, oh yeah, you probably need to know this. You probably need to know that. So yeah, just, I mean, if you even have questions about it, it is, in my opinion, the most affordable, economic way to vacation. So yeah, there's that. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, I think I'm gonna go. This is obviously the final look with these two European palettes from Nomad, and I love them both. I think they paired really well together. You know, I'm a huge fan of Nomad, and like I said in the beginning, the Fairy Tale Europe palette was sent to me in PR. I am on their PR list, at least for the first half of the year. If my code gets used enough, I'll get to be on it for longer. But I really like how they're doing their PR now. I think that it speaks volumes about the brand and what they're doing in the world, aside from all the amazing things that they're doing. So, okay, I should stop yammering. This is probably so long. I'll hopefully just add all the pictures and all the things as I edit this, so you can see all the nonsense. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Be good, and remember to be kind to you.